So bring us full circle to how do we get to the peace sign from an invite of German scientists and Red Rover and the psychology, Timothy Leary, who says New Age is the new fad.
Well, Eisenhower laid it out. He says, and Truman, he said, we will not accept any SS troops. We will not, that were SS, because once you're SS, you had to take a vow. You had to take a vow to Hitler himself. And I'm not sure if you knew this, but SS troops were not German soldiers. They were actually German bodyguards. That even though they did fight, they were in the German Wehrmacht. The German army. So they had totally different standards. Their standards had to be above 6 foot tall. They couldn't have any Jewish blood in them. It had to be totally Aryan. Matter of fact, weddings that were performed by Himmler or his ilk didn't have any Christian connotations about it. It was all New Age. It was a total 180-degree turn from Christianity. When they got married with the symbols of salt and bread for cleansing the earth. They really had huge occultic practices. So not only did the SS were they vicious killers, but they were vicious killer priests. It's almost like they were the knights that they were Teutonic, the neo-Teutonic knights, and once we brought them into America, we brought their religion along with them. All these different programs that they had that we think of as Americans, like, why didn't we listen to Eisenhower? Why did we? Was that technology so important that we would throw away our American belief system and just say, well, we're going to use that technology? I read this book when I was going through the anthropology class, and this book was written by Constance Cumley. I think it's Cumby. That's it. That in Indian prophecy, Hindu prophecy said that there would be a John the Baptist for the New Age movement, and she said it would be Hitler. Which I seriously believe that Hitler was John the Baptist, because he's opened so many doors.
Let's careful how we say that.
Right.
Hitler was
he prepared the way.
He prepared the way.
He prepared the way.
I believe that most people would understand, but
right.
He said, Pat Brubaker said Hitler was John the Baptist. Yeah, I want to, sorry.
Because if the definition for Holocaust, and I know this is kind of a subject, but
No, not at all. We were talking about peace symbols. So, yes, with Holocaust.
Yes. Holocaust, the definition means a burnt offering. So, when it's my premise that when Hitler and all of his ilk killed the Jews and the Slavs and the Gypsies, it was an occultic sacrifice. Hitler really opened something up spiritually opened doors and allowed something in. I remember my grandpa saying, something has happened since World War II. Our world is really, really changed. It's darker. And I think we can really put that at the feet of Hitler, because he was ultimately the most evil man that we know of. But this next man, the man of perdition, is going to make Hitler look like a piker.
Well, I believe that there's a progression from person to person to person. I mean, when you look back into the Bible times of Caesar and many of the emperors and gladiators that sat on their thrones and in the I can't even think of inside the Colosseum,
right?
Of how many Christians were brutally murdered as entertainment.
Right.
We haven't come that far in terms of advancement in years.
No.
Granted, Hitler was an evil person and did unspeakable acts of horrid nature. We look at today's movies. How different is the movie Saw or the Saw saga from what they saw in the Colosseum? You have bodies being ripped apart. I don't want to go too graphic, but it's bad. Colosseum, bad. What you see in many horror movies, not a whole lot different, right?
Right, exactly.
So the evil is there, but I couldn't say that we just point to one character. And I don't hear you saying that, but I couldn't say that we point to one character and say, you know what, this is all your fault.
Well, I think what it is, it's Nazism was a religion. So here they're performing this religion. They're actually performing sacrifices, actual rites, and no one really knows what rites they were doing in Wieselberg. You know, that they allowed no pictures of, nothing. Who knows what doors were open spiritually? Saul went to the Witch of Endor, and because
Samuel,
yeah,
right.
We're told not to do this, because not that we're not supposed to do it. It's because it does happen.
Yeah.
It is real.
Pizza joints wouldn't sell pizza if people didn't want pizza. Krispy Kreme wouldn't be selling donuts if fatties didn't like glazed fried bread. And there wouldn't be the occult if people weren't searching for something else. Just because they don't want to believe that, they choose not to believe that. Give me something that's all about me. We look at today's advertising, it's all about me. We look at today's TV, just the way that we receive TV, movies, all about me. Get it on my phone or I'm not going to watch it. Put it on an on-demand. Do you remember the days where you would have to wait for the movie to come? Yeah, it doesn't happen to do with that anymore. It's, let's see, I want to watch this one. They go to Netflix, you go to Hulu Plus. You can, I mean, they've had video stores around for a number of years, but never to this access where you press a button and within minutes you're watching the movie, or depending on your speed of delivery, within seconds you're watching it. So when we say the evil has entered in, Pat, I got to believe it's because a majority of people, or the people that were looking for it, they found it, they wanted it there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I think too that we've been lulled into it. You know, we've been coaxed into it. You know, it's just human nature. You know, it's the human nature is all about me. Right.
Feed me, love me. I want to be known. I want to be appreciated. I want to be respected. I want to be acknowledged. When you look at Facebook, majority of teenage pictures, it's somebody just, hey, take a picture of me. Hey, text me. You know how many times I see text me, I'm bored? I have a student who will every once in a while text me and ask me questions about different theological stuff in the Bible, and his tagline on his text messages from his phone is, I'm bored. And so I asked him one day, I said, well, why do you have that as your tagline? Oh, I'm bored, nothing to do. I mean, there is so much entertainment all about the individual, and they still walk around saying, I'm bored. Look at me, text me, love me. When you get inside of a church fellowship, when you get inside of something as powerful as the name of Jesus, when it's not all about them, they don't know how to respond, Pat. They sit there and say, well, wait a minute, I thought it was all about me. So when they see a video about Jesus, when they see something that has more truth to it than what they see in their average, everyday, all about me stuff, they're not sure how to respond to it. They have a difficulty sitting there for long periods of time and looking at the video that is all about Jesus, that's all about serving others, as opposed to entertain me. You know what I mean?
I know exactly. You know, because what we've done is we've turned our back on Christ. You know, we're so short circuited that we had to put the Lord as king of our life. And that's in every aspect. You know, it's just, you know, and with me being a Christian, it's so easy for me. You know, I'm perfect. I'm perfect at making walls.
Right.
And I'm perfect at put him like, God, you live in this room, but the rest of this room isn't yours.
Yep. This is,
you know, I like just the way it is. You know, we've got to break those walls down and say, Lord, come into my life and clean it out. And I think a lot of people take a look at the Christian and they see the United States as like, well, the Lord is never going to turn our backs on the United States. He's never going to turn his back on it. Well, we've turned our back on Christ.
you.